Alright, so in the last video, we talked about how to um, put together a method from designing it, figuring out what you want it to do, putting some examples together so that you can test it and make sure it'll work, and then actually writing it and testing it. So in this video, I want to, let's see, I'm going to bring up a different project called CodingBat. I'm going to use this to introduce a really nice environment, online environment that I'll show you in a second that you can use for doing different exercises that will actually do this designing and testing piece for you, so you can work the exercises. So here I've set up some comments. My method really doesn't do anything at this point except return 0 every time, so it doesn't really do anything useful right now. I put the return 0 in here because I have a return type of int, and I have to return something for it to be able to compile. So now when I hit compile, it'll compile without errors because I'm actually returning a 0. If I didn't have anything here, if I just had it as an empty method, it wouldn't compile because it's expecting, since it has a return type, it's expecting you to have a return statement with some value of that type. Okay, so that's the only reason why that 0 is there. What we want to happen is we want to return one more than the given value. So in other words, if my input parameter is 17, I want to return 18. If my input parameter is 5, I want to return 6. If my input parameter is -4, I want to return a -3. Okay. The parameter is called A. I decided to call it A. Parameter A is the first int to be added. And then I'm going to return one more A. Actually, I think I'll just say, instead of saying first, because there's only one of them, I'll say the int to be incremented. How about that? So we increment something when we add to it, make it bigger. Okay. And then I'll return one more than A. Alright. And here, actually, I think to make it, well, oh no, I'm going to leave it like that. So A is the int to be incremented. I'm going to return one more than A. So let's just show that right now it does compile, but it doesn't do what we want yet. So I'm going to put a new CodingBat here. If I say one more int A, if I put in a 17 right now, we want it to return an 18, but instead it gives me a 0. Okay, because because in my code, if I give it, let's test one more. If I give it a 5 here, it returns a 0 again. Okay, it's always going to return a 0 because that's what I put in the return statement, return 0. Okay, what I want is I want to return A and one more, one number bigger than A, which is A plus 1. Okay, so let's hit compile here. So A plus 1 is one more than A. So let's just see if that did what we want. So it should be one more. If I give it 17, I should get 18. If I give it a 5, I should get 6. If I give it a -4, I should get a -3. Let's check that. Okay, a new CodingBat, stick it on here. If I say int one more, so one more than 17, I'll give it a 17. I should get an 18. Let's see. Yes, I got an 18. Okay, let's try my method call. I'm going to say I'm going to get past the parameter 5. Okay, and it should return a 6. So my method result is a 6. So when I called one more with the parameter 5, I got back a 6. When I call one more, the one more method with a -4 as the parameter, I should get a -3, because -4 plus 1 is -3. So let's check that. -4, let's see, -4, and it returns a -3. Great, so everything works. Okay, so now let me just show you a cool website. Now, and actually the exercises I'm going to show you are ones that I put up here for you. So the link is codingbat.com/home/ and then my email address, tj@tjleone.com. So we'll talk more about that either in class or in another video. But for now, I just want to show you how this works. So I'm going to click on the one more problem. And here, you see, it starts off, it gives you the things that I had in comments before. It says return one more than the given value. And it has, these are the tests. One more than 17 is 18, one more than 5 is 6. So it gives you some of the tests to look at. One thing that's inconvenient, and it starts out the method for you. Okay, so notice we don't have the class here anymore. There's no CodingBat class or anything. All you're seeing is the method, which in a way is nice because it lets you focus on just worrying about the method, and so you don't have to worry about the outside braces for the class and the start of one method and the beginning, the end of one method, the beginning of another, and things like that. So you're only worried about this one method. Okay, so we have our public accessor here. We know we have a return type of int. The name of our method is already given to us. It's one more. And it takes as a parameter an integer named a. Okay, with a variable named a. All right, so now, one thing that's inconvenient about CodingBat is that you can't use the tab key. If you try to tab, it will tab down to the go button, which is not what you really want. At least not right now, because we need to write some code. So I'm going to use the space bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, and type in what I want to return, which is I want to return a plus 1. And I need to always remember my semicolon, the end of my statement. So now I'm going to click on the go button. And let me scroll over a little bit so you can see. And what happens is all these tests get run for me. So when I'm given 17, I expect back an 18. And that checked out. Okay, so that's when CodingBat ran my code, it got back an 18 when 17 was the input. And 5 is supposed to return a 6, and everything went okay. All right, so that's how CodingBat worked. Now, if I had, let's say I had just put down here, let's make it break so you can see what that looks like. If I had just put 18 here and said go, that would work for the first one, but not for any of the other ones. So if I say go here, it was okay for this one, but all these other guys didn't work. So that's why we have the red here and we have the X. Okay. So let's just fix it again. A plus 1. Let's go, and everything's great. There's also this show solution button. Sometimes there'll be even a hint button. But if I click show solution, it shows how you can solve it. All right. So that's CodingBat, and like I said, I'll show you later exactly how you can sign up. You're going to want to I'm signed in right now as me. You're going to want to sign in as yourself and make sure that you're set up so that I can see how you did. We'll do that in the future.